Hello, welcome to the Roy Rogers News Channel. Thank you so much for watching. Alright, today for the PokeMMO Guide Series, I would like to dive into the Pokemon Encounter Index for PokeMMO. And before I dive into the semantics of this guide, I would like to give you a little bit of a credit reel here. So thank you so much, Sarge T, for making documentation much easier. And what he did was that he basically compiled the notepad that I gave him of all the locations and the item yields, and he simplified it to make it easier for the documenters to be able to cite the Pokemon and their locations faster. And I would also like to thank Phoenix Fox, Susumi, Draco Tamer, Sarge T, Soulfly David, Refi, and Alex GGG for helping me document some locations at the start of this guide's launch. And I would like to thank Refi for pitching in during the last moments of this guide's launch before it got moved to the Guide Tavern. So thank you so much, Refi, for that last pitch that you made. And I would also like to thank Reek Ren for compiling a list of all the Pokemon in a document for me to list. Although I should note that some encounters in that document are a little bit dated, and look at the new locations. As an example, Railu can now be caught at Route 216 as opposed to being caught in Iron Island. So those are the examples of the changes that I had to make to the guide. But don't worry, every Pokemon at the time of this taping have their current locations documented. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the semantics of this guide, shall we? So, first, I'm going to go ahead and read off the guide key. So, let's go ahead and do that right now. I did not give every Pokemon an image. The reason why I did not do that is because guide constraints. And I did not want to make this guide into a two-pager, so I had to compromise a little bit in terms of the graphical things that I would love to do with this guide. As an example, I was going to give every Pokemon an image as opposed to a select few. I don't want to make this guide 2 pages, so that's why I went ahead and foregone that very thing. Also, I would like to note that the rocks, when you rock smash the rocks, I did not list the fossils because I'm going to imply that you know that if you rock smash rocks and if you encounter Pokemon via rock smashing, then you know that you can get fossils off of that. And you can also get the other items that could be tacked on those Pokemon as well, but the fossils are a nice addition to that. I'm going to go ahead and skip over to the Super Rod part of the guide key because I split this section into 2. One section is Kanto, Hoenn, and Sinnoh. The other section is Unova exclusive. Since you only get 1 rod in Unova, I went ahead and I labeled all the fishing encounters that you can get in Unova just fishing. So that way when you do Control F, you're not being cluttered, and you can be able to search for fishing encounters exclusively on Unova since you have only 1 rod. So you don't have to worry about 3 rods. Otherwise, I would have not included that section. Also, special. Now, if there are any Pokemon that are exclusive to Phenomena, then you will see a special beside their encounter. Also, you're going to see an image beside that Pokemon's name because those are the Pokemon that I picked to have their images. Those are all the Phenomena there. The rustling grass, the bubbly water, the shadow, and the dust cloud. Alright, so without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the features, shall we? So, now that the Pokedex has a reward at the end, if you were to complete the OT Dex, you might be wondering, you know, I actually need this particular Pokemon. How can I be able to find that Pokemon specifically? And that's a good question. What you can do is you can do Control F, or you can, on your phone, go to the 3 dots at the top right of your phone and then click on Find in Page. And this should take you to the same location. All right, so let's just say you need the Feebas. So let's go and type in Feebas, and Feebas could either be found in Hoenn, or it can be found in Sinnoh, in Mount Cornet, at a special water tile in the basement. So these are the search encounters. Or let's just say you need a starter. Let's just say you need Snivy. You can be able to search up Snivy, and I went ahead and gave a special section for Zaru, since Zaru is a bit unique in its encounter style. In fact, if you would like to find a quick way to encounter Zaru, PokeMMO has released an excellent publication about this very thing. So if you are interested in finding Zaru, feel free to watch PokeMMO's video about that. And I linked it here, and I could link it down in the description below. So feel free to watch it if you need Zaru in your Pokedex. Alright, don't worry, I'm going to fix this error after I get done taping. Don't worry about that. Alright, I know some people are probably going to point that out in the comment section. There is one notable thing I would like to say here. The Safari Zone, I went ahead and split up the Hoenn Safari Zone into a lot of different sections. Oh yeah, the Kanto Safari Zone, through a lot of testing, I found that Pokemon kind of bounce from zone to zone, so I figured it wouldn't be too much of a use to really cite all the zones anymore, but just in case the zones were to be applied, here they are. I went ahead and put out a diagram on each Safari Zone. An example of where zones do apply is Hoenn. Hoenn zones still apply, which is why I have the areas here in brackets right there. So there we go. And I split up all the Safari areas there. And those are some commonly asked Pokemon. Although I do feel like that Shuckle is a commonly asked question because of a certain YouTuber that has a mascot as Shuckle. So yeah, I figured I should give that Pokemon a picture since a lot of people ask me how to catch Shuckle. So there you go. You have to catch it through the Hoenn Safari Zone. And Smeargle as well. I gave Smeargle a picture. Alright, and then the Great Marsh and Sinnoh. I split up the section into areas. Now, these Pokemon bounce around as well, and they're in different areas. And we don't know how the Pokemon bounce from area to area, but all we know is that these Pokemon can be around certain places. The water tiles are a little bit more exact, so we know that, as an example, you can get Psyduck if you surf around, you can get a Marill and a Wooper or a Quagsire anywhere in the light blue water tile. But the grass is where the Pokemon kind of bounce around from area to area, so it takes a lot of testing there on the Great Marsh. Although, if you would like a little secret, some of these Pokemon can be found in swarms. So keep an eye out on those swarms, because you may not have to go through the trouble of trying to find Carnivine or Scorpy or even Kangaskhan from the Kanto Safari. So yeah, keep an eye out on those swarms. Those swarms could be really, really nice. And one more thing that I would like to note here before I sign off of the segment is that if you go to the Altering Cave in Kanto or in Hoenn, then you can be able to see the Pokemon that are encountered there. Now, the cycles can be documented via Reeves' document, although I should note that Shuckle is no longer in the cycles anymore. But what we do know is that the cycles are still there. In fact, the link is going to take you over here to the release. Make sure to download the cube. Don't download the other ones, just download the cube specifically. And then, once you do that, you should be able to unzip the folder, and then the very first thing you could see is PokeMMO with a black circle arrow kind of pointing to each other. Click on that, and that should take you to this page. There we go. Thank you so much Reeves and Seth for making this amazing tool here. In fact, this tool is quite a wonderful tool because sometimes if, let's just say I have an alt and my alt is in Kanto for some reason, and I don't want to have to go through Hoenn to catch some of these Pokemon, then this cycle tool can be able to help me catch some Hoenn Pokemon, so I don't have to go through the rigors of going through Hoenn and encountering these Pokemon. So thank you so much, Reeves, for that. Also, the Hoenn Altering Cave, complete the story mode Elite Four first, and then once you do that, then the Altering Cave can activate. Also, let me know in the comments if any location needs to be updated, and I can credit you in the guide if you find a certain location in the guide that needs a bit of some updating. So let me know, or you can write in the forums, down in the forums comments. I am more than happy to listen to them and do the necessary fixes. And with that, let's go ahead and sign out here. Thank you so much for watching. This is the Roy Rogers News Channel. Don't forget to comment and subscribe to the channel, like the content that you see here. And I hope you enjoy the Pokemon Encounter Index. I am so relieved completing this guide. And thank you so much, K9XL, for moving the guide into the Guide Tavern. The amount of months that I've taken just to complete this guide. Sleepless nights. Don't worry, I'm willing to do some hot fixes. If there's something a bit dated in the guide, let me know and I can fix that right away. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment and subscribe to the channel, like the content that you see here. And this is the Roy Rogers News Channel signing off. Fast, accurate, and biased, Roy Rogers News.